when I had to see, I came across an article from the Herald, an announcement of our superintendent announcing a new program which will be added on for a teacher's program somewhat that was just mentioned in the Herald. It becomes alarming and concerning to me because now here we are with less contributing dollars. This town does not have much business to contribute neither. It's only the residents that are here. And it saddens me to not take these things into consideration. People are losing their jobs. Our taxes have increased tremendously. And when you look at these things, at the end of the day, it's only us residents that have to pay for them. We don't have contributing dollars. And I'm going to give a comparison to Rockville Center, Merrick, and so forth. They have contributing dollars from the revenue that they pick up from their businesses, business lots, municipal parking. It goes on and on. We don't have that here in Baldwin. People are losing their jobs. Medical benefits are at its highest in the country. And, you know, it's sad when you come here and then you mention the same thing and then nothing is being registered to anyone. And it's like, I'm not personally against anyone here, but I'm raising two kids. I have a family. We all have a family. And these things have to be looked at. Because, again, Baldwin is not the town where we have a lot of businesses contributing back into our economy. It's us only as residents that are doing these things. And the additional programs that keep adding on are starting to hurt a lot of homeowners. We have homes at foreclosure. Yes, people are coming here, but a lot of people are afraid to also live here because of the increases. We have doubled a 20% increase from 2010 to 2017. That just makes no sense, and it's just not fair to the residents that are here. You guys have to take a look at this.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Love.
It hasn't been 30 minutes yet.
It's three minutes. Everyone gets to speak for 3 minutes. And that was not an agenda item, but I let that one slide, so.
Absolutely, it should be. Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to clear up a misconception. A program that's, quote, added, and I'm assuming that you're talking about the Education Academy that was referred to, which there's a piece of it starting next year. That doesn't cost the district any extra money. So, for example, any new class that we offer means that there is another section of something that's not offered. So if, for example, there is a new AP class, for example, that might be offered, let's say, in the social studies department in high school, it means that there's a section of something else because of low enrollment that's not offered. So it doesn't necessarily represent an increase in cost. It's just a readjustment of offerings based on the amount of money that's already been allocated. I don't want you to think that we're spending willy-nilly. We're not.
Well, not when you look at it. I've looked at your budget, and I've also looked at the amount of state aid. I've also looked at the BOCES expenses. You know, I had a report that was done that I found through your website that says we're contributing. Our expenses for BOCES were at $2 million in calculation, but when I went back into the report that was done by for tax purposes, it says it was almost $10 million that was spent towards BOCES. And meanwhile, we only received $1.6 million in state aid to cover the cost. When you're looking at a budget for BOCES that says $10 million, and meanwhile the state's only giving $1.9 million, you know, it's just like the taxpayers are paying for these things.
Again, that's just not accurate information.
Okay. That information came from your website, directly from your website.
I saw your post on Facebook. I think what the problem here is, and I would encourage you, because it seems like you're trying to educate the community with your posts, but I think I would ask you, I would actually tell you you're not. You're doing a disservice because looking at school budgets is complicated. And where you see something that may say BOCES aid, there may be aid in other budget lines where that is paid out, or where BOCES expenses may show up. And when things move from budget line to budget line, depending on movements and how we allocate the funds. So where I've seen some of your posts say, we're spending all this new money, it's actually not new money. The program at Hastings is, we've had a program at Hastings. It's run by BOCES, so now where the money looks like it's new money being spent for BOCES, it's not new money. It's money we were spending before, it was just in a salary line. Because we had people here, teachers, administrators, running the program at Hastings. Now we have BOCES doing it, so things move around. And so, I used to come to a lot of meetings when I first started out asking a lot of questions. I would encourage you to do that before you go posting on Facebook about how we're misallocating and spending because we're not.
From 2010, we had a 20% increase. That is correct. Those are not numbers thrown out there. These are documented items. We had a 20% increase from 2010, while we were operating with 5,300 students, to now 2016, 17.
And there's reasons for that.
And the numbers are increasing year
And there's reasons for that, and I would encourage you to take the time. That's happened over a period of 10 years. There are state mandates that have come out over that 10-year period. There are, I saw you post about pension contributions that were going up. That's a state mandate. They dictate to us how much we have to pay. So there are things in there that are mandated. We have, as you heard our auditors talk, I think it was the auditors talk about, the bulk of our budget is salaries. So those costs go up every year. Medical insurance costs go up every year. They don't go down. So these costs are going to increase year to year. I'm going to stop because this is not an agenda item talking about the budget, and there are people that are waiting, so I appreciate if you want to come back with the second comment period.
And I will keep posting. I will also address this issue with them as well. It needs to stop.
I can't stop this, so thank you.
Good evening, Sue DeGraff, 9 Van Buren Street. I'm speaking on behalf of the Meadow PTA. My question is, because we didn't receive the full audit report, was there anything in the audit that details how much of the budget is spent per student or per square foot of outdoor space?
We didn't get an audit report. This is actually just a preliminary report, is a planning report from the auditor saying we are coming in now to start our audit.
So they're not starting the audit yet?
No, they'll be in the last week of May to start that part of it.
Okay, so in that audit, will there be something that details how much is spent either per student per school or per square foot?
No.
For outdoor space,
No.
to make sure that everything's equally allocated among the students?
No, and I would hesitate to say equally, maybe equitably, might be the word you're looking for, because some of the schools are larger than others, but that's not something that's calculated. They look at, the overall financial picture to make sure everything is kind of done as it's supposed to be.
And so will they be looking at how the money is being spent? We understand there's some money being spent on an outdoor space at Meadow, which we are concerned with how that's going to be done, and we'd like to be involved in the decision-making process.
The auditors don't look at how, in that sense, like, are you spending money on this or that? They look at if we're spending it, and correct me if I misspeak, but are we spending it in accordance with the law and what the budget is?
Okay, now is it only you guys that look at the audit then? It's not
Well, the audit, itself is initially presented to the audit committee, which is, in this case, the board. Once we adopt it, then it is released to the public. Every year, happens every year.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hi.
Yvonne Salerno, 2608 West End Avenue, Baldwin. Representing Meadow Elementary, there was a concern about the property in the backyard. It's basically considering an irrigation system. I think that was mentioned in the past, for the reason being that there was soil, I guess, getting kicked up and coming into the cafeteria and whatever. But the point being is that I think that what we are concerned about as a whole with Meadow is that if there is a possibility of putting in blacktop or whatever instead of the grassy area, that we're concerned about that. We would prefer to maintain the grass if at all possible, and ask that you reconsider putting in an irrigation system, so that, you know, it would remain somewhat, how would you say, what would be the right words?
Green.
A friendly, you know, environment for the children. And so that's our basic concern, is
Okay.
to reconsider the irrigation system there.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing no one else online, we are going to move on to the business of the board. Okay, the Board of Education approves the personnel actions report dated April 19th, 2017, as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. O'Hagan. This contains the names of individual staff members. We do not discuss this in public. All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the recommendations for services of the Committee on Special Education, Sub-CSE 504 Committee, and Committee on Preschool Special Education for services in November and December 2016, and January, February, and March 2017, as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Coles. This contains information pertaining to individual students. We do not discuss it in public. All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the home tutoring and special education services reports as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed, second by Mrs. Dreska. Again, this contains information pertaining to individual students, so we do not discuss it in public. All those in favor? Aye. All right, given the late hour, and as board president, I'm calling for consideration of the business items in tonight's agenda as consent items. This includes business items 1 through 3, which deal with cooperative bids, business items 8 through 16, which are special education service contracts, and business items 21 through 23, which are us declaring items obsolete. Just want to take a look at that, and if there are any items that anyone would care to withdraw from consideration under the consent agenda for further discussion and a separate vote, please let me know. 21 through 23. No, 20 through 23 is obsolete. 8 through 16. Special education university.
Okay, you're good.
One. I'm just, you're good? Sue? We're good?
You good?
Okay. All right, so then I need a motion. Mrs. Reed makes the motion. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cools. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That is unanimous. Okay. The motion carries.
Yeah.
Now we need to do a vote. So I need a motion to accept business items 1 through 3, 8 through 16, and 21 through 23 as consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan, second by Mrs. Jureska. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Now I've got a motion. 1 through 3. And 1 through 3. I just want to mark this off so I don't bring them up. All right, business item number 4 then. Board of Education approves the agreement with AVID College Readiness System Services and Products Agreements to be expanded in the middle school for the 2017-18 school year as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Cools. Any questions or comments?
No.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the budget transfers over $10,000 from January 1, 2017 through March 31st, 2017 as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dreska. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the Health and Welfare Services contract for 8 school districts for the 2016-17 school year, as detailed in the Friday mailing, and I'm going to go through and read all of this. Garden City School UFSD. We've got 10 kids at the Waldorf School, 15 at St. Joseph's School, and 6 at St. Anne's. Total of 31 students at a cost of $836.91 per student, for a total of $25,944.21. 5 students at the Progressive School in the North Merritt School District at a cost of $1,161 for a total of $5,805. 1 student at Smithtown Christian School in the Smithtown Central School District at a cost of $832.98 per student for a total cost of $832.98. 2 students at Farmingdale School District at the Bethesda School. This cost per student $1,027.50 for a total of $2,055. About 89 students at St. Agnes School in the Rockville Center School District at a cost of $894.18 for a total of $79,582.02. We have 117 students attending non-public schools in the Uniondale School District, 97 at Kellenberg Memorial, 1 at Hebrew Academy, 18 at St. Martin de Porres, 1 at PAC-CAM, at $686.15 per student, for a total of $80,279.55. 1 student at Holy Name of Mary in the Valley Stream number 24 School District, a cost of $1,142.49, for a total cost of $1,142.49. 10 students in non-public schools in the West Hempstead School District, 8 at St. Thomas the Apostle, 2 at Hebrew Academy in West Hempstead, at a cost of $1,128.95 per student, for a total cost of $11,289.50. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Dreska. Any comments or questions?
Repeat that.
Yes. All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the contract for 2 students attending private residential schools for the 2016-17 school year, as detailed in Friday mailing. They are 1 student at the SCO Family Services Westbrook Preparatory School at a cost of $51,617, and 1 student at Martin de Porres for $34,855. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Zareska. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. All right, we're going now to number 17. Board of Education approves the contract with Zycron Industries to provide Medicaid billing services for the 2017-18 school year, as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan. Second by Mrs. Cools. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education authorizes the purchase of design services, office and classroom furniture, and office and classroom equipment from Office Depot in accordance with General Municipal Law, Section 103, Sub 16, as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Zareska. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the contract with Emerald Investigations to provide investigative services for the 2017-18 school year, as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. O'Hagan. Any questions or comments?
Yes. How long have we been utilizing Emerald?
Long time.
It's a long time.
Long
So we don't have to put a bid out for this?
I don't remember whether we...
Because I saw all the other bids, I was just curious why this one doesn't fall into that.
Honestly, don't know. Okay.
It has
We'll
to be
look.
under a certain amount also, but we can look into that. Sure. We can look into that. Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
Are you okay voting on this?
I'm okay with voting on it.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstaining? Abstaining? That was a 1 abstain. Board of Education approves the agreement with Seatuck Environmental Association to provide an environmental program for the period from April 1, 2017 through June 30th, 2017 at a cost of $2,700 to be funded by the Auerbach Grant, as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan, second by Mrs. Reed. Any questions or comments? Yep.
I was just, I was, mic is really loud. I'm gonna stand here. I was speaking to Dr. Camby about this item earlier, and I just think, again, these are one of these things that make me kind of want to go back to teaching. And I can't wait to see the kids, pictures of the kids doing this. It's like a credible project, hands-on, fun, great.
We did this before too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of an ongoing relationship,
Right.
and the different elementary schools have been doing it at different times, so now it's a lot of concern.
Okay, great.
Cool stuff happening in Baldwin. Just saying.
Any other questions or comments? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we've done 21 through 23 as part of the consent agenda. Board of Education approves the updated use of facilities report for September 2016 through June 2017 as amended and as detailed in the Friday mailing. So moved. Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan. Second by Mrs. Coles. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the use of fields, spring 2017 report. This one is also as amended, right?
I didn't do that one.
One of them was amended.
One of them.
No, I didn't see it
I
amended.
forget.
Only this one.
Wasn't my question.
And which one?
Was it on the fields or the?
Oh, the
both?
amended was on.
Use of facility. Oh, it was just use of facilities, I think. It was, well, from my question. Use of fields, do not match. Oh. Okay, so this one was not amended. Okay. Just use of, okay, gotcha, okay.
This one.
Okay, gotcha. Any questions or comments, other questions or comments? No? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the meeting dates for these are Board of Education meeting dates for the 2017-18 school year as detailed in the Friday mailing. So moved. Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan, second by Mrs. Reed. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor? Aye. The Board of Education approves the additional CSE, sub-CSE 504 chairperson, Nassau BOCES Hastings Academy recommendation for membership for the 2016-17 school year is detailed in the Friday mailing. And that person is Brittany Morstead. Anyone? Okay. All right. I need a motion. So moved by Mrs. Reed. Second. Second by Mrs. O'Hagan. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. All right, we need to appoint a chairperson for the budget vote and board election on May 16th. Just for those who, I think most of us know, but those who may not know, this person opens and closes the vote, the budget vote. So you go to the high school, you declare the vote open at 7 a.m. and you declare the polls closed at 9 p.m.
That would be you.
You don't have to be there all day.
That would be you, like you, her.
Oh, no, I'm just explaining.
Yeah.
Oh, you have any questions?
I'll do it,
All right.
if you guys are okay with that.
Would you have to go to work?
You know how that goes.
No, I mean, seriously.
No, I'll be
you
around.
would
That's a
understand.
Tuesday.
I can do it too,
Okay,
and
okay, it's a problem.
Okay.
You gonna do it?
But she's fine.
It's Tuesday.
You want to do it?
Fine.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Oh, okay with that?
I'm good with that.
You good with that?
I've been doing it. Yeah,
All right.
So wait, so it's Annie.
So it'll be.
Who's doing
Yes,
it?
you are more than welcome to come at 7 a.m. and join me.
Can we have co-chairs?
Okay. So the Board of Education appoints Eddie Goreska as the chairperson for the May 16, 2017 budget vote and board election. Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Coles.
Okay, Google, Google.
All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the list of registrars, assistant clerks, and inspectors for the budget vote and board election to be held on Tuesday, May 16, 2017, as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. O'Hagan. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Board of Education approves the renewal of the contract with Professional Innovative Programs to provide a computerized voting system and technology support for the May 16, 2017 budget vote and board election as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Dreska. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Board of Education approves the memorandum of agreement with the Nassau County Board of Elections to rent the DS-200 scanning machines and auto mark for the May 16, 2017 budget vote and board elections detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan. Second by Mrs. Reed. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Board of Education approves the district guidance plan for 2017-18 as detailed in the Friday mailing. Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. O'Hagan. Any questions or comments? No? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Board of Education appoints the next available impartial hearing officer, Amy Itzla, in case number 08048 as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Coles. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Board of Education authorizes the Baldwin Parents in Partnership for School-Aged Child Care, Inc. to continue on 2017-18 to use district facilities as identified by the district in consultation with service providers for the purpose of conducting a before and after school child care program and the continuation of the swim program.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Coles. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Board of Education approves the letter of intent and textbook central agreement from Logic Inc., Textbook Central, for participation in the non-public school textbook program as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan. Second by Mrs. Reed. Any questions or comments? No. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything under other? Yes.
Mr. President, when you brought up the item for, for the district guidance plan,
Yes.
I was like, hold on. And the vote went through, it's okay.
Oh, I didn't
I'm all
hear you.
right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It didn't, the question I had would not have impacted my vote. I just was curious as to if there were going to be some type of collaboration with community groups to do some of the things that were in here. Like I saw some mention of parents coming in to do some talks with the students about careers and other things that I thought that, I don't know if that's under consideration, just wondering.
I think we do a lot of what's in there already. I think some of it is a as needed or wish list. I think we would agree that plan is something that we have to pay a little bit more attention to going forward, and I know Mr. McNella has that on his radar for next year.
Mm-hmm. So what's the answer to my question? Is that something that will happen or no? Or think about? Possible?
Possible.
Okay, that's all. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else under other? No? Okay. We are, okay, so we've come upon our second and final comment and question period. Yeah, before we open the floor, I'm going to read some important dates for everyone still here. So tomorrow there's an art show at the high school. That's not on here, but I'm going to mention it anyway. At 7 p.m. So go check that out. Middle school and high school art will be on display. I'm not sure if they have that, but the DFE thing. I haven't heard anything about that. National Honor Society induction Tuesday, April 25th at the high school. There will be a PTA-sponsored candidates forum for the 3 candidates running for the one Board of Education position that will open up. Ms. Reed being one of them, and I forget the names of the other 2, unfortunately. That will be Wednesday, April 26th, so a week from today, right here, at 8 p.m. We have our annual district meeting and budget hearing, which is our final budget presentation in a public forum that is not a PTA meeting. That's going to be Wednesday, May 3rd, at 8 o'clock, right here at the district office. And then our next Board of Education meeting, which will be the meeting where we honor our top 10 kids and our athletic kids, the all-county and all-state folks, music kids, and a lot of academic awards. That will be Wednesday, May 10th. It's an earlier start time than usual. It's at 7 p.m., and that will be at the high school. And that's all I got there. So with that, I'm going to take that trip. I will open up the floor for our second comment period. Again, this is a timed comment period of no more than 30 minutes. Everyone who wants to speak gets a time limit of 3 minutes per person. Is anyone planning on coming up? Because if not,
Mr. President,
Did you bring some information in the annual week?
that's the one on May,
I'm sorry.
the budget hearing. You were dozing. I did not keep you engaged. Holy, I got to work. All right, if anyone wants to come up and speak, just be respectful, address your questions to me, give us your name, your address, so we can get back to you if we need to. We don't talk about individual students or staff members, and there's no limit on the topics for this comment period, and so I'm going to open up the floor, see if anyone wants to come up to the microphone. No? Okay, then I'm going to need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Jareska. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone.